This is the story of a man who was completely overwhelmed, trapped in a body he hated, and buried under the crushing weight of his own goals, until he discovered one simple 2-minute secret. By changing just 120 seconds of his daily routine, his health, his body, and his entire life completely transformed. What he did in those 2 minutes will shock you, and it might just be the exact answer you have been searching for. But before we get into it, take a second to think about your own life. What is that one massive goal or positive change you've been putting off because it just feels too daunting to begin? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to see what you're working toward. And the next morning, he would wake up filled with temporary excitement. He would put on his workout clothes, drive to the gym, and push himself until his muscles screamed. But by day 3, his body was in intense pain. His mind would whisper, "It's too hard. You don't have time for a 2-hour workout today. Just skip it." And so, Leo would skip it. The running shoes went back into the dark corner of his closet, gathering dust. The cycle repeated, month after month. Leo felt completely trapped in his own pattern. The guilt pressed on his chest like a heavy stone. He whispered to the darkness, "Why can I not stick to anything? What is wrong with me?" The truth that hurt him the most was this: he wasn't lazy. He truly wanted to change. But every time he tried to start, the sheer size of the goal created a wall of friction so high that he simply couldn't climb it. He was drowning in his own good intentions. One crisp Saturday evening, Leo sat on a park bench, catching his breath after attempting a jog that lasted barely 4 minutes before his lungs burned. He put his head in his hands, completely defeated. An older man sitting nearby looked up. His name was Thomas. At 65 years old, Thomas was leaner and more energetic than men half his age. Thomas saw Leo's tears. He closed his book and said simply, "You are trying to climb the mountain before you've even learned how to tie your shoes." Leo looked up, confused. "I just want to be fit, sir. But I don't have the willpower to stick to the workouts." Thomas smiled wisely. "Finishing a 2-hour workout isn't your problem, young man. Your problem is starting. Let me teach you a secret framework from a master of behavior change, James Clear. It's called the 2-minute rule." Thomas leaned forward, his voice steady. "When you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Right now, your brain is terrified of the 2-hour gym session. So, we must scale it down to defeat the friction." Thomas took out a notebook and wrote down a simple map. A 5-mile run becomes: put on your running shoes. A 2-hour gym workout becomes: walk inside the gym door. Reading a book a week becomes: read 1 single page. Leo stared at the notebook. "But that's a joke. How can putting on my running shoes for 2 minutes get me in shape?" Thomas's eyes turned serious. "Because a habit must be established before it can be improved. If you don't learn the ritual of showing up, you will never master the skill of optimizing. For the next 30 days, your only goal is to put on your running shoes every single morning. That's it. Once the 2 minutes are up, you are allowed to take them off and sit back down." Leo felt a flicker of hope. 2 minutes? He could definitely do that. The next morning, Leo's alarm rang. Instinctively, his mind began to create excuses. You are too tired to work out. But then he remembered Thomas's rule. I don't have to work out. I just have to put on my shoes. He threw off the blanket, slid his feet into his running shoes, and tied the laces. It took exactly 90 seconds. For the first week, Leo did exactly that. He put on his shoes, stood in his living room for 2 minutes, and then took them off. It felt incredibly silly. But around day 10, something magical shifted in his psychology. He realized that the hardest part of working out wasn't the exercise itself. It was the friction of getting ready. Since he was already wearing his shoes, he thought, well, I'm already dressed. I might as well just walk outside for 5 minutes. The 2-minute ritual had become the gateway to a deeper state of focus. By month 2, Leo didn't need to force himself to run. The ritual of putting on his shoes had become entirely automatic. Because he mastered the art of showing up, the rest of the habit followed naturally. 1 year later, Leo was unrecognizable. He had lost 40 pounds, his skin was glowing, and he ran his very first half marathon. But if you asked him how he did it, he wouldn't tell you about a brutal diet or a hardcore military routine. He would look at his feet and say, I just learned how to tie my shoes every morning. My friend, Leo's story is proof of a profound psychological truth from Atomic Habits. We live in a culture obsessed with the destination, but the secret to massive change lies entirely in mastering the entrance ramp. A habit is just a highway, and the first 2 minutes are the toll booth. If you can't pass the toll booth, you'll never see the view from the top. To apply the 2-minute rule in your life starting tonight, remember these 3 core truths. First, gateway habits. Rule your day. Every day has a few decisive moments. Choosing to put on your workout clothes or open a textbook are the small forks in the road that shape the next several hours. Master those 120 seconds. Second, standardize before you optimize. Stop trying to build a perfect habit from day 1. An imperfect habit that actually happens is worth infinitely more than a perfect routine that stays in your head. Done beats perfect. Third, stop before it becomes painful. In the beginning, limit your action strictly to 2 minutes. Force yourself to stop. This tricks your brain into craving more, rather than associating the new habit with exhaustion and pain. So, here's my challenge to you. Look at that massive goal you've been avoiding. The book you want to write, the business you want to start, or the fitness routine you keep quitting. Scale it down right now. What is the 2-minute version of that dream? Tonight, set yourself up for success. If you are ready to defeat laziness using the 2-minute rule, hit that like button right now as your formal commitment to yourself. Then, drop a comment below telling me, what is the 2-minute ritual you're going to practice tomorrow morning? Let us hold each other accountable. Share this video with a friend who is overwhelmed by their goals and needs this simple framework. And make sure to subscribe, because every week I bring you deep stories of human transformation and the exact steps you need to change your life. Remember, success is not a massive one-time destination. It is a daily practice, and your practice begins tomorrow with just 2 minutes. Will you show up? Your future self is waiting on the other side of those 120 seconds. Do not make them wait another day.